What's up, guys? It is Ace Hunter here, giving you guys another video, and this time it's going to be on Storm 4 mechanics and strategies and stuff. Joining me today is...
Yee! What's up, bros and bras? This is your boy, VengefulWillberg, here with my boy Ace, and we're going in on Storm 4. Let's get it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, Storm 4 is coming out here in the next couple of weeks. It's like basically on the tips of our fingers. Japan's, of course, going to get it first, so, they're going to get that tasty licking of the Storm before we get it. So, sad days upon us all, but I think we'll live. So, to talk on Storm 4, we're going to talk about the mechanics and strategies of it. This video is going to be kind of more based on the players who are actually they've played Revolutions and played the other Storm games, but this might actually help the new players coming into this game kind of see what we see and hopefully up their game a little bit when they're playing online against their friends and whatnot. So it's just to kind of help out everybody in a sort of way with how I want this video to kind of show in its light. With that being said, let's go on and talk about Revolutions real quick while we're still on the past Storms in general. So Revolutions, we've treated that as the redheaded stepchild of Storm games. We don't accept it. We can't condone the actions of it, and whatever happens on Storm Revolution stays in Storm Revolution. So to start on it, we have the broken BP system. Will, what do you think about that?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's broken as shit. I mean, pretty much it boils down to this. You can lose so much BP so fast, and it just made rage quitting 100 times worse. I mean, I've seen a lot of stupid shit in my day, but this time it got ridiculous. There are a lot of heroes out there where the first thing you're gonna do is look at their disconnection frequency because it's fucking hard. Like when you see 255, that pretty much tells you right there that that's max rage quit right there. And I mean, and it's just insane. I mean, for the most part, you could be, let's say you're rank 10 and you play somebody at rank 5 or some shit like that. And you could lose mad BP no matter how close the match was. And that made a lot of people question even playing somebody of a lower rank. And I've been there. I've did a ranked match series, and I knew a fellow subscriber, and he just refused to play me because his rank was that much higher, and he was afraid of losing some serious BP. And I don't blame him for that. At least he was honest about it, you know. But at the same time, it's like when the system is that broken, something has to be fixed because I mean it just ruins the desire to even play at that point.
Oh, for sure. No, I think what it used to be for me more specifically, and what I really hated about the BP system was that people could literally, and this was especially pertinent for the PS3 players, people could literally restart their profile, make a new email, restart their profile, make a new whole entire new freaking ID, PlayStation Network ID, just so they could come in as a rank 1, while meanwhile you're rank 15 or whatever, and the guy just comes in and whoops your butt. Now I'm a guy that just hosts the match, and whoever comes in is whoever who comes in, and I'm not gonna turn them away just because you have low BP, or oh no, you have high BP or whatever. I'm not gonna turn you away. I'm gonna battle you straight up. But there's some days where I see level rank 1s, and I feel all right, let me kind of go easy on this guy. Let me show some at least some sportsmanship conduct here, and suddenly surprise, Donzo comes out and he does that freaking insta kill move, and you're just sitting there awestruck why?
You knew it was coming, bro. Come on.
Oh my gosh. All right. So the next thing we have to talk about is the counter system. The counter system in Revolution was probably one of the worst decisions the CyberConnect 2 could have made as far as approaching this game with a strategic mindset in mind, or this whole league competition type stuff. It's probably one of their worst decisions they could have made. The counterattack system just, oh god, stuns you for almost too long, and every second in a fight is probably crucial to a battle. And, it's you kind of need that. Will, what's your kind of like insight on that?
All right, now I will say this. Actually, the idea of a counter wasn't a bad idea, especially considering the track record that CyberConnect 2 has in terms of some characters being so much faster or they have so much more priority than other characters. But like the biggest gripe here is the way they designed it, because a counter, if you look at other fighting games, especially fighting games that are in Evo and things of that nature, not trying to link the two, okay? For the most part, a counter is specifically designed to stop someone in their tracks. Either you're stopping their combos, or you're simply getting a little damage for being able to counter a move with the proper timing. But the issue here is in Storm Revolution, I mean, the counter completely turns the tables. I mean, counters are designed to turn the tide, so to speak, but not at this kind of scale. I mean, the counter literally turned people into straight up punching bags. And to make matters worse, when it came to damage scaling, I mean, it was so ass. Like, it was so weird. Like, they would do damage scaling for an ultimate jutsu in the middle, in between combos, but when it came to team ultimates, nothing was scaled. So all of that just was a whole clusterfuck when it came to things going wrong.
Oh yeah, most definitely, yeah. Just pretty much poor execution on it. All it comes down to, like, one counter system that I know of, Dead or Alive. If y'all have ever played Dead or Alive, their counter system kind of works as you have to input the same kind of like punching technique as the person is, kind of, so to speak, and or at least in the direction. So if the person's hitting you with a low attack, you got to counter with a low counter, and so that way you yourself can counterattack. And the damage wasn't ridiculously like out of this world. It just like it will hurt, but it wasn't like, you didn't lose like 50% of your freaking health gauge just because this counter went off. It just like it kind of like you lost like maybe 5 or 10% of it. Um, so yeah, just poor execution on CC2's point.
Mhm.
Next we have the split up of the three types. So what I mean by the split up of the three types is, there is these things called awakenings, ultimate jutsus, and team attacks type of things. Um, that stuff was split up in Revolution, and back in the other games, those weren't really split up, and so it was really weird to see that in Revolutions, and not a lot of people like that. Will?
There's two reasons as to why they didn't like it. A lot of people felt like by splitting it up into three types like that, it kind of like dumbs down the gameplay. And then type two here, problem number two is by splitting it up, it just created even more chaos because they really didn't balance out the types as well. Because depending on the type you had, you can have a huge advantage over the other person. Ultimate Jutsu type was the type that's going to get you damage really quick because of the uh, power that you get from ultimates altogether, especially the team ultimates, and how team ultimates was not damage scaled. Pretty much, not the damage didn't drop at all. And then you have the awakening type. Everyone already knows that the awakening feature is designed to turn the tables on your opponent. And depending on the type of like awakening you have, it could just be that much devastating. But in my opinion, the worst type of all is definitely the draft type, due to the fact that draft type, you had basically all the advantages of support. I mean, attack, guard. You didn't need to have a full support gauge in order to take advantage of these things. And to make matters worse, the knockback, you didn't need a full storm gauge in order to take advantage of that. And that just created all kinds of hell because, I mean, all they have to do is just knock you back, and then it's instant knockback because you can't do anything about it. You can't stop yourself in Revolution.
I literally came out of a match with Asuma having like two random like throwing supports and stuff like that, and Asuma just pretty much pinned me down to the point where I couldn't move from the spot I was at, and he had options. So he had the ability to throw his shuriken, stun me, and have his other buddies still throwing shurikens. And even if I guarded it, the shurikens being thrown at me, I wasn't allowed to like let my guard drop because those shurikens were just gonna keep coming at me. And so when Asuma got close, he would grab me and throw me to the other side, instantly creating a strike back. And then I get strike back. He uses his what do you call it, the burning ash, and I get sent back yet again and get striked back yet again, and serves up more combos. And pretty much that whole battle was just me just like getting landslidedly like killed all over the place with no hope of coming back.
Yeah, that's the gist of it. Especially if the other player knows just how broken some of the support characters' abilities are when it comes to striking. Ooh, boy, gosh.
It definitely it was definitely painful to play against, and yeah, so that that altogether, like the three type separation was pretty bad idea. Now you're probably thinking, oh well, like if all the three types are all together, now it's gonna seem a little bit broken, right? Yes and no, because yes, in a sense where yeah, you have the access of awakening, you have the access of ultimate jutsus, but at least in this case, you're actually what's the word I'm looking for?
You're not
Um,
limited?
you're not limited. You're not limited on your choices. The opponent isn't limited on his choices either. And of course, this means that you both are on equal playing field. And this guy could try to spam. Well, you have the same types and stuff, and you have the same abilities. You can come back. If you have awakening type to come back on a guy who's more focused on using the team aspects, you're going to be able to come back on this guy with an awakening, because back in Revolution, say you picked an ultimate jutsu type. In my case, I picked ultimate jutsu type. I wasn't able to come back on this guy at all or flip the tables on him with the awakened state. So that altogether, like, it puts players now on a more equal playing field, more so than back in Revolutions. So, and then the last thing we're going to talk about how we hated Revolutions is the spammy broken ultimates. Oh, all hail Madara for this point right here. We way back, Madara had an ultimate in Storm 3, and we didn't really mind it. It was a pretty cool ultimate, and when they brought the new Madara in, we were thinking, okay, this is a pretty cool ultimate. It's big, it's unnecessary as fuck, but it was pretty cool, using this big old freaking Susanoo and like slicing you. Now, the execution point of ultimates are kind of like pertinent about it. So, Will, what do you want to talk about it?
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love the Madara Ultimate Jutsu sarcasm. But besides that, it was amazing. I remember when I first played and I had no idea how broken that was. And I got hit with it so freaking much at the very beginning because here's how it works. Pretty much In Revolution, this is the thing that I do like about Revolution, by the way, is that all ultimates could be punished no matter what. However, that's not necessarily the case. There are some that you think you punished it, but you didn't because it still activates, and Madara was that guy. And to make matters worse, when it comes to Madara's ultimate, is the simple fact that that ultimate has some pretty good range too, because it's not like it shows up behind him. It shows up in front of him. So God forbid you're not paying attention. Your ass can get rocked quite easily from that. So, I mean, and there's some other ultimates that has that too, but Madara was like the breadwinner when it came to that tactic.
Like if even if you like came in, started punching Madara as he like activated the ultimate, you were pretty much subject to you could possibly get caught by this ultimate. Even though you have punched him several times, and you even see that his bar went down compared to like you getting caught by the ultimate. Yeah, he's gonna lose 5%. You're gonna lose about 20. Enjoy that. So that was an issue right there. And then like altogether, like Madara, you couldn't really punish there after his ultimate because if you guard it, you have to be positioned very close to Madara to like effectively counter or effectively punish that ultimate. You have to be like really close and up personal with him, guard the attack, and then punch the crap out of him. Because if you were far away from him, which most Madaras do, and they start spamming that ultimate, well, guess what? You're not going to be able to punish it, and he's just going to keep throwing out wooden dragons at you all day.
Hmm. And the counter made it that much easier to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.